Hey there, everyone. My name is Christian Eschbach, and welcome to another one of my album reviews. And I'm actually cramming this review in almost at the last moment. I screwed up on what band I was doing for 260. I grabbed a band that I thought was Canadian, didn't realize they weren't Canadian. You'll find out later on, because this is the last review I do until we go full tilt Rammstein. So, here we go. Death from Above. 1979. The Physical World. I fell in love with Death from Above. I covered their first album. I've covered their most recent album. This is the 2014 album that I didn't know existed until like 2019. Maybe 2018. I bought the first album, I'm a Woman, You're a Machine, which came out in 2004. I didn't even know there was an album before that. There was an album called Heads Up before that. Didn't know it existed. And then I found Heads Up, Outrageous Now, and The Physical World all at the same time. So I picked them all up at the same time. So sometimes I mix them up. And it's not that I wasn't looking, it's not that I wasn't paying attention, I just wasn't getting notifications. So, speaking of notifications, when you go hit the like button and hit the subscribe button, hit the notifications, the little bell to get the notifications. I wasn't getting the notifications. I didn't know new material had come out, and this album has some kick-ass new material on it. So here I am, way behind. Alright, so now that I'm caught up, let's get into this album. The album opens up with Cheap Talk. Now, Cheap Talk is your standard Death from Above kind of song. Fast, high intensity, kind of got a punk kind of atmosphere going on in it, but a little bit alternative-y at the same time. A little bit of noise, a little bit of fuzz, distortion, but raw and aggressive. You know, that true raw, aggressive punk style. Lets you know that this is Death from Above. They're back and they're serious and they mean business. Because even with me not realizing that this album came out 10 years later. 10 years! They went 10 years without releasing an album. Okay, so Cheap Talk lets you know that it is Death from Above and that they're back. Then you get to Right On Frankenstein, which is the next track after that. It's kind of more or less continuation of the same. At this point, Right On Frankenstein, good tune, has a little bit of some different texturing in it. Nothing too major, though. It really just feels kind of like your basic kind of album cut for Death from Above. First song on the album that really makes me stand up and take notice, though, is Virgins. This one comes in fast and heavy and hard. And I mean, when I say fast, I mean it's not going at the same rapid pace. It's coming in at a heavy tempo still, but it's like hammering in on the quarters instead of, flying on eights, For those of you that speak music, you'll get an idea what I'm going on about there. And that's what this song does. It just comes in really heavy and hard, and I really dig this tune. Virgins has actually been in quite a few of my mixes that I have put together since. After that, we get to Always On. Always On benefits from where it is in the album, to be completely honest. I like Always On. I like the music in it. It's a little bit different still. It's not quite your cliche Death from Above. A little bit, but not a lot. This one really kind of benefits from being between Virgins and the next song, Crystal Ball. And because it just flows so perfectly through. And then when you get to Crystal Ball is yet again another great heavy tune, a little bit different. Still Death from Above, but a little bit different, a little more textured, a little more nuanced. Another song gone into many mixes since I have picked up this album. After that, we get into White is Red. White is Red is the slower song on the album. I don't want to compare it to Black History Month, but Black History Month might be the closest you could compare it to, with the idea of the slower tempo, kind of more melodic kind of song. After that, we get into my favorite song from this album, which is how I found out that there was new material that had been released. The song Trainwreck 1979. Totally dig this song. The video is really cool too, but I mean, there is just something about the bass in this. I mean, like the band is all bass and drums, but there's just something about the bass when he drops down. And I'm sorry, I don't remember the name of everybody. I believe it's Sebastian Granier or Granger. Could be Granger. I'm not sure how they're pronouncing it here because I believe the guys are from Quebec. I could be wrong on that one too. It's been a while. When he drops into his bass line, man, he gets good and into a pocket, man. And on this one, it's just oh yeah, man, and it just locks in this pocket and just runs with it. It's fantastic. I'll be honest, the fact that this band is all bass and drums, it drives so much of how much I love them, really. But Trainwreck 79, man, this is gonna be one of those songs. It's on my one of my previous episodes. I said I was gonna do an episode about my sexy scooter mix, or my super summer sexy scooter mix. I can't remember what the hell I call it. And Trainwreck 79 is part of that mix, actually. There's 2 songs on there. The other song on there is Sexy Results from You're a Woman, I'm a Machine. You gotta go check out Trainwreck 79 online. Just great video. After that, the rest of the album, well, not bad. Feels a little more kind of your basic album cuts, which happens a lot with Death From Above. The beauty with Death From Above is their album cuts are really good. You put it in a mix, you don't notice. It's really good. It's great. When you're listening to the album consecutively going through, some of the songs you kind of lose out on a little bit. So Nothing Left. One of those ones where when I'm going on the album, it's great. Otherwise, I'm not overly... I don't have feelings about it one way or the other. And the next track, Government Trash, same thing. When the album's going, great. Otherwise, I really don't think about it. Gemini, on the other hand... Gemini is definitely the last song on this album where I will throw it on to mixes 100% for sure. There is still one more track, which I do enjoy. Gemini is definitely the last one where I really get into it and I really dig on the album. Dig on the track, I should say, not just the album. And the album finishes up with the title track, The Physical World, which is a great way to finish out the album. It finishes out really nicely. I really enjoy it. It's got a good, strong, solid finish to it. Not a big single kind of finish, but a really good, strong finish I find really enjoyable. I know I kind of blew through this. I didn't go into too much crazy detail. The reality is, this is one of those albums, I'm going to go out and just say, pick it up. It's if you like alternative, it's a great album to pick up. If you like punk, I still think it's a good album to pick up. If you like metal, it's a little hit and miss. You know, even if you're into grunge, this can be a really cool album. You know, like there is definitely, quite a few people over the years have been surprised that I'm personally into this band because of the type of sound that they've got. But once again, like I said, you're talking about a band that has a bassist and a drummer, I'm in. You know, and the drummer's doing the vocals on top of that, I'm definitely in. So, I recommend you be in. Go pick up this album. Not every Death From Above album is an album I would recommend picking up. The very first album, You're a Woman, I'm a Machine, definitely an album worth picking up. The Physical World, an album definitely worth picking up. Is for Lovers, which was the last album I reviewed, 2 picked up because it's the most recent album. It's a really good album. it is for Death from Above fans. I wouldn't recommend picking up. It's not a spot I'd recommend starting. If you've never picked up anything from Death from Above, this is a good place to start. If you don't pick up You're a Woman, I'm a Machine. I always say you should start at the beginning, especially with Death from Above. That's where I started with as soon as they came out. I loved them. But if you don't want to start there, you want to start a little bit newer, go with this one, 2014, The Physical World. It is worth owning. I think so anyways. Those are my thoughts. Those are my views. Tell me what your thoughts and your views are. That's what the comment section is for. As I already mentioned earlier in the video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for the notifications. I also mentioned Rammstein earlier. That is going to be the next set of videos coming up. I am doing every Rammstein album in order as I picked them up, except for the very first two albums. I'm going to actually do those in the chronological order because I picked up the second album first and the first album second, and then from the third album forward, it's all chronological. Reason I am covering that is I am going to go see Rammstein in Montreal, which is also why I mentioned, hit that subscribe button, because the more subscribers I get, the more likely I'll be able to do some live broadcasting while I'm there. Lots of cool stuff coming from that. Otherwise, folks, Patreon link, peace, love, take care.